Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Suspension Corner. I am your host, Canadian Glenn, and it is November 2nd, 2016. Tonight, on the view up here, we will start off with a little review of CETA. Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement. Bend over, you're going to like it. Corporate media is once again failing us, telling us how outstanding this is, blaming it on one little province, Belgium, trying to make the Quebec situation relatable. Too bad that's not the real story. Very small piece. What is everybody so pissed off about in Europe about this deal? The ISDS section. So are a lot of people here. But they fixed that. They insisted they fixed that. It's now called ICS. Investor Court Settlement. You know what it is? It's a Pinto with a Bobcat nameplate on it. Same goddamn thing, no different, no better. But you never know that. But then corporate media doesn't want to talk about that anyway. You can take a little look at it, explain why this is, for lack of a better word, bullshit. Get across to people that if CETA ever becomes a functional agreement, hell will have frozen over. It's nothing but a big PR exercise. It's a shit agreement. That's all there is to it. Millions of people know it. But, you know, the government wants to make it look like they know what they're doing. Good luck with that. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. After we're done with that, we're going to have a preview of what's coming up on Saturday, November 5th. First annual live internet radio marathon from both sides of the Atlantic. A total of 13 hours of live broadcasting. We'll be going from 3 p.m. to 4 in the morning on the 6th in the GMT time zone. 11 a.m. to midnight Eastern Daylight Time. 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. We'll talk about the shows, some of the guests. We're going to have a few early bird guests join us tonight. We'll talk about the website that has been created for the first annual event, where you can listen to all 13 hours without going anywhere, where there will be a no login chat room all day long. So no matter where you are, when it is, you can be current. Of course, the individual shows will have their show pages running wherever they may be, but there's a central location. So dig that. It's rather interesting to read the mentions page for your own Twitter account because that's all you get to see. I'd just like to say at this point to everyone out there in Twitterland supporting me, well played. Some very humorous tweets. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. What happened? Well, as far as I can tell, this is the long and short of it. Anyone with deep access to Twitter API can create a weapon. And that's what happened. This was a IP-based, login triggered algorithm. I logged into one specific account and 3 were immediately suspended simultaneously. That ain't no accident, and that ain't no human pressing buttons. That's a present that was awaiting. Has Twitter done anything? We're talking about Twitter, people. Of course not. We'll see what happens. Assholes. Anyway. Yes. Hello, everybody in chat. Nice to see you. Knick Knack. Yes, I did pay my internet. I am online right now. So I'm sorry that premise doesn't work. Well, Penny, the story is this was supposed to get me. It's one of them things I didn't know it was there. Well, I found out in a hurry, and so did other people I was talking to at the time. We'll see what they do. The Canadian Glen account has been registered on Twitter for more than 6 years. It has more than 95,000 tweets, and it's never been suspended. Until today. So we'll see. Regardless, let's move on. Now, you may have seen the rosy picture of Liberal members of Parliament hugging Conservative members of Parliament in the House of Commons about the quote-unquote signing of CETA. That should ring off some alarm bells. It's just part of the publicity campaign. The reason that everybody can pretend this is a done deal is because there's been basically no explanation of how Europe, the EU, approves things like this. Nothing like Canada. Canada is basically royal diktat. The government of the day decides that we're going to sign it. There's no vote in the House. The provincial governments decide that they're okay with it. There are no votes in the provincial legislatures. In the EU, it's the absolute opposite. Every country, every member out of the 28 decides how they will approve any deal. And of course, Belgium has been the one that's been pushed in our face as the problem. Well, you know, when the day comes when you criticize elected people for following their constitution and listening to their electorate to deny a corporate rights agreement, we have a problem. But again, if you listen to corporate media in Canada, you're never going to get that spin. What's the holdup? Let's ram this through. Now, the biggest issue, other trade agreements, is what's called ISDS, Investor-State Dispute Settlement. So far, in international agreements, ISDS involves an independent tribunal to which are appointed lawyers and ex-judges who are being paid by the litigants to judge on the case. The corporations get to nominate people to said tribunal. Governments? No. So imagine somebody suing you in court and they decide who the judge is. And they pay him. And that's all legal. That's what we have with ISDS. But back in April, there were too many protests on the streets of Europe. So a solution was spun. There was a joint declaration, a joint interpretive declaration on CETA between Canada and the Economic Union. And it dealt specifically with ISDS section. It was renamed the Investment Court System. And this was a new way to do it. Well, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to actually quote from that declaration. And there will be some explanation into plain English for you. Now, this is text from the declaration. CETA includes modern rules on investment that preserve the right of governments to regulate in the public interest, including when such regulations affect a foreign investment, while ensuring a high level of protection for investments and providing for fair and transparent dispute resolution. Well, all that is a rewording of Chapter 8, Article 9 in the CETA text. There's nothing changed. All they did is quote a section that already exists that nobody seems to like. It doesn't address the concerns about how the right to regulate would be protected under CETA. Now, the European Commission has repeatedly said publicly that governments can protect their right to regulate, but nothing in the text supports that. Again, from the declaration, CETA will not result in foreign investors being treated more favorably than domestic investors. Well, under CETA, foreign investors will enjoy the right to sue states at international tribunals. That alone is a right that national investors do not have. So therefore, if you have access to another system and the other side doesn't, that's more favorable. End of story. Again from the text, CETA does not privilege recourse to the investment court system set up by the agreement. Investors may choose instead to pursue available recourse in domestic courts. Well, of course they can, but why would they? Why would a multinational go to the court in Canada, subject to Canadian laws that they don't like, when they can go to a tribunal that doesn't have to adhere to those laws? So this is a ridiculous statement. Of course they can go to Canadian courts to sue the Canadian government. But they don't have to. Again from the text, CETA clarifies that governments may change their laws regardless of whether this may negatively affect an investment or investors' expectations of profits. Certainly, if the agreement came out and said you can't make any laws until Nestle or Bayer or GlaxoSmithKline or British Petroleum approve them, this shit would never get anywhere. That's too much. So certainly you can change your laws. You can make a law about whatever you want. Just expect to end up in the tribunal. These statements are empty. They mean nothing. Again from the declaration. CETA clarifies that any compensation due to an investor will be based on an objective determination by the tribunal and will not be greater than the loss suffered by the investor. Okay. Any compensation due an investor will be based on an objective determination by the tribunal. Well, I mean, it's a matter of common sense. Any arbitrator that has made a ruling will swear up and down that their ruling is objective. But yet, in case history, that's not true. Now, this declaration has not addressed the inherent bias in the ISDS system, where arbitrators are paid by the parties on a case-by-case basis. So as a result, any of the arbiters are financially motivated to rule in favor of the person paying them and will not be greater than the loss suffered by the investor. That means losses suffered include projected future profits. Nothing in CETA prevents the tribunal from awarding disproportionately high compensation that is far more than the actual amount of money invested. Again, gobbledygook, bullshit. Again, from the declaration, CETA includes clearly defined investment protection standards, including on fair and equitable treatment and expropriation, and provides clear guidance to dispute resolution tribunals on how these standards should be applied. Clearly defined investment protection standards. Well, it certainly does. Almost all the rights included in CETA are for investors, not for citizens, not for governments. There are numerous loopholes, and the quote I have is, uses language that provides a false sense of comfort. Now, when states are sued by investors, it will be the state that has to prove that their measures were not arbitrary, they did not damage the legitimate expectation of the investor, they were not manifestly excessive, and were for a legitimate public policy. Since when can a corporation decide what is a legitimate public policy? But that's what the agreement says. As far as defining what arbitrary, excessive, or legitimate is in this document, there are no definitions. Clear guidance to dispute resolution tribunals on how these standards should be applied. Well, under CETA, investors will be able to continue arguing that measures taken to protect public health, public safety, or the environment have an effect equal to expropriation. Now, this declaration does nothing to clarify that definition. It says that only legitimate public policy measures that are not manifestly excessive would be out of reach of being sued over. But there's no criteria to determine this. So when you're in a tribunal, you're not in a court of law in a country with a constitution and a tradition of law and order and justice. When you're going to argue this shit before 3 or 5 guys that are paid to be there, you think it's going to be fair? In order to ensure that tribunals in all circumstances respect the intent of the parties as set out in the agreement, CETA includes provisions that allow parties to issue binding notes of interpretation. Canada and the EU and its member states are committed to using these provisions to avoid and correct any misinterpretation of CETA by tribunals. Well, doesn't that sound wonderful? But, in fact, these binding notes of interpretations are only valid if they're made before a legal measure or a regulation is passed, not even in the period between being passed and becoming law. So, if corporations are going to sue over laws that exist, and this was not done beforehand, that doesn't apply. And what would be the percentage of that happening? Oh, I don't know, about 99.5% of the time. CETA moves decisively away from the traditional approach of investment dispute resolution and establishes independent, impartial, and permanent tribunals. Well, that sounds fantastic. True, CETA does take away the ability to nominate an arbitrator under this declaration, but it doesn't secure the independence of said arbitrator. It doesn't eliminate financial incentives, and it doesn't prevent pro-investor bias. It's an asymmetrical system where only investors can initiate lawsuits against states. No government can sue a multinational for wrecking their country. Only multinationals can sue nations because they don't think they made enough money. Or people have made a decision and you're preventing us from making more money. That's how this shit works. Strict ethical rules for these individuals have been set to ensure their independence and impartiality, the absence of conflict of interest, bias, or appearance of bias. Sure, there is no cooling off period before or after being an arbitrator. There is no explicit ban on taking on other cases under other agreements as arbitrators, which can create conflicts of interest. The only restriction is that if you're sitting as an arbiter, you can't be a lawyer at the same time. Really? Wow, how big of you. So you can't be a judge and a prosecutor at the same time? Son of a bitch. Boy, you guys really cracked down, didn't you? You see what's going on here? Spin. Disinformation. CETA is the first agreement to include an appeal mechanism, which will allow the correction of errors and ensure the consistency of decisions of the tribunal of first instance. What this sets up is they make a shitty decision right off the bat, and it's not corrected. Then it becomes precedent. Then it gets worse and worse and worse. How? Because there is no basis of law. It's a decision made by people hired to sit in a room where the government can only defend. They cannot prosecute. Now, this little coverage comes from a place, tni.org. These people have got their shit together on what's going on out there in the world of trade agreements and international monetary affairs in general. tni.org. They sum up by saying CETA is not even close to bringing real change from the current ISDS system. Under CETA and this interpretive declaration, investors will still be able to challenge public policy legislation. Investors will still be allowed to bypass the domestic court system and have exclusive access to a parallel justice system. And for-profit lawyers will still be able to decide on matters of public policy. Well, Minister Freeland, thanks so much for clearing that up. What fucking bullshit. We'll just change the wrapping on the paper bag of shit and put a new bow on it and say how progressive we are. This is why nations all over the EU have said we will not ratify this agreement until either our court system decides if it's constitutional, we have a very thorough process, and people in our assemblies are allowed to vote their conscience. If we vote no, we may shove it up your ass. There may be sections of it that don't apply in certain countries. They have options like democracy. What does Canada have? Well, your premier said it was okay at the time. Maybe a different premier now, maybe a different party. Oh, well, that's too bad. Somebody said it's okay. And in Ottawa, it's the same thing. The 28 people sitting at the table in Privy Council in a nation of 38 million people said, yeah, this is cool. We're good. That's how these things get approved in Canada. One more thing to cover. To test it, the same group, TNI.org, looked at 5 of the biggest ISDS cases in recent years and decided if anything would be different under CETA. They looked at Philip Morris suing the nation of Uruguay for putting warning labels on cigarettes because, that would cut their profit. They looked at Trans-Canada Pipeline suing the United States for President Obama's decision to say no to Keystone XL. Looked at Lone Pine versus the Government of Canada for a fracking moratorium in Quebec. Looked at Vattenfall against Germany for the city of Hamburg imposing environmental standards on water use. And they looked at Bilcon against the Government of Canada for an environmental impact assessment that prevented the construction of a large quarry and marine terminal in an ecologically sensitive coastal area. And the report goes on for quite a few pages, and it basically says, close analysis of each case shows that every one of these controversial disputes could still be launched and likely win under ICS. There is nothing in the proposed rules that prevents companies from challenging government decisions to prevent health and the environment. And there is nothing to prevent arbitrators from deciding in their favor, ordering states to pay billions in taxpayer compensation for legitimate public policy measures. That is the long and the short of it. I do not understand how these assholes in Ottawa, whether they wear red or blue, can stand there and say this is good for Canada because you think you won't be an MP anymore in 8 years when there's a judgment from a closed room of $20 or $30 billion to be paid by the taxpayers of Canada. That's why it's okay today. Ridiculous. Chrystia Freeland became a best-selling author writing about the international economic system. She was most famously known before being a candidate for shitting on the TPP in her best-selling book. Now she trumpets CETA. She trumpets TPP. Why? Well, I'm on that team now. Fuck you. Brutal. There you go, people. That's what it's about. Now, we're going to get to why we're here. Callers waiting. I see you guys. Hang on. Please. Now, Saturday, November 5th, an international day of protest. the Million Mask March. The last website I checked today had over 750 cities and towns around the world registered as having protests. Anonymous is not dead, my friends. It never will be. Now, before we bring some guests on and talk, this is the promo that is made, effort of the first annual Internet Radio Telethon that will happen on Saturday.
Greetings, citizens of the world. November 5th is coming. Change begins within you. Where will you be this November 5th? Through dedication, fortune, and goodwill, Anonymous Radio will bring you an extravaganza of live broadcasts throughout the day of this global event. Towns and cities across continents will converge on central meeting points to celebrate unity with activists across political, social, and language spectrums. This day is set aside to celebrate the movement, to celebrate the idea of Anonymous, and to remember what we have accomplished and those who have sacrificed for the many. Anonymous recognizes what remains to be done in the name of all people, for the good of all people, now and towards the future. On Saturday, November 5th, 2016, we invite you to listen to a collaborative effort in the true spirit of Anonymous, live at mmmliveonthef5.com. Music, memories, guests, live reports, and commentary from around the globe, dedicated to the idea that we are one. We are Anonymous. Remember the 5th of November.
There you have it. That is the promotional bumper for the event. First person I'll bring on is somebody who's been involved in planning with myself. Welcome, Friendly Smoker.
What's going on, brother?
Not much. We'll have a little bit of a preview here tonight.
Yeah, I'm expecting some people to call, but there is a World Series game going on, so I'm just letting you know that some people are fucking drunk as fuck, so they won't be calling in. They're at the bar.
Oh, well, you know, priorities. Yeah, it's not Saturday. That's cool. But we do have someone who will be a guest on Saturday, and he has agreed to join us tonight. I will bring him on now. Good evening, Mr. Eugenio Ochoa.
Hey, how is everyone doing?
Very good. It's
how are you?
Nice to hear you again,
I'm
sir.
doing. Well, hey, nice to be back. Good times, good times.
Congratulations on your second son.
Well, thank you. It's been an adventure for sure.
Yeah.
Lots of gas. He doesn't actually cry as much. He got circumcised today, and he didn't really cry.
Shit.
Yeah.
Butchered. God damn.
That's how we do it.
It's all good. I escaped that, so.
Well,
maybe he
just
hasn't figured out what happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
That could
very well be it.
Well, on Saturday, Hig, you will be on Revolution Radio, and your two co-hosts on that night will be Friendly Smoker and the out of retirement for Saturday, CNY Rebel.
Rebels on hold, I think. They're on.
He's on now.
Hey, Hig, did you keep the excess skin? The Chinese food down the street pays extra lamb for that.
I did not. It was bad enough having to watch it.
God damn.
Terrible.
See now, doesn't it suddenly feel like 2012?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm in a tiny chat right now, taking my pants off.
Yeah, that's what we're missing.
Except every 15 minutes. Except every 15 minutes when I'm on the phone with Higgins, it says, "You are making a phone call from a federal maximum security prison."
Damn prisons.
Times got better.
Yes, times indeed get better.
Today, which makes it impossible to communicate with Glenn now.
Well,
I thought to just dox him on Twitter and just give everybody his cell number, but he was against that.
It happens.
Glenn, I have to give a fair warning about Saturday.
Quit it.
It turns out that Revolution Radio, the premium account that Puppy had run out, and he doesn't get paid till Monday. So I went ahead and took care of that. So the agenda may have changed a little bit. I may be playing a little larger part, and I might be bringing 5 or 6 of my closest friends with me.
Oh my God!
Well, fun times.
Right.
I know what that means. So everyone be prepared. In the middle of the program, in hours 7 and 8 of the program out of 13, be prepared for old school 2012, 2011 Troll Fest.
Yeah. It's the pre-show to your show, so we're going to go wild. We're going to have like a powwow, just fucking talk about all kinds of bullshit, good times, good memories, and then just lead into your show, hopefully. Get everybody on the same.
That's not the order. That's not the order. I mean, we should go over the order. I mean, the first show of the day is going to be People's Radio United, and the co-host there will be Tim Best Buds and some suspended guy from Canada, and that'll be a 3-hour show, and we're looking so far at having Raymond Johansson call in from Norway, give us an update of what's going on there. He'll talk to us a little bit about a non-intel group and other efforts of the Courage Foundation. We will have 7 phone in from the march in Washington, D.C. We may have Naomi Colvin from the Courage Foundation for how they support jailed Anons, such as Chelsea Manning and Jeffrey Hammond, and they are defending Lowry Love. Very good organization. And we may also have Erica Garner on that show.
Nice.
And after that, the next 3 hours is 100% live from the field. Top Gear Live. Top will be live at the march in London for 3 hours. He will do nothing but live interviews and play quite a strong lineup of tunes that are related to the movement from the last 5 years. And then after that, in hours 7 and 8, we have Revolution Radio with CNY Rebel and Freddy Smoker. Yes, you do.
Okay, yeah. That's
yes, you do. Okay. So, I mean,
do we have a special guest?
We're going to have somebody from Jan, somebody represent Jan calling in. Higgs is going to be on our show.
Yes.
I'm going to have a couple of people possibly calling us from the protests, somebody out in Boston, somebody out in Chicago. And we'll see what happens. What was that?
I said, Jan's still a thing?
Yeah, I just bought their shirt, bro. What are you talking about?
I am out. I'm out of the loop. I don't know who owns it now, and if that's not copyrighted, I don't want to get sued.
Hey, remember when
I'll give you the download. I'll give you a call and I'll explain what's going on with Jan and stuff. But yeah, Jan Twitter, all good.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you.
Just to pop it in there, I have a few people confirmed for our show as well.
Okay, lay them on us.
We will be hearing from a fellow Canadian. Meeps will be on. I've got confirmation that Schmoop, Asshurt, and J-Vab will be joining us.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
It is. It is, in fact, the Russell League reunion.
Oh, good time.
You're getting drunk.
That is the Russell League reunion, without a doubt. And of course,
Glenn just started sweating.
Not at all.
Whatever. I mean, I don't have to be there. If I don't want to be there, I won't be there. That's it. Simple. I'm sure Porno Puppy will be along at some point. I know he has committed to phoning the next show for the 9th and 10th hour of the marathon, which will be the View Up Here, which will be me. And I will have on as guests the irrepressible Stanley Cohen. I will have a representative from Free Anons. People who know that's Sue Crabtree. I will have Leanne DeHart on, the mother of Matt DeHart. And I will also have a representative of Yoranon News. After the Russell League, we'll bring it back to Earth. And then following that, for the last 3 hours of the marathon, we will go out to the West Coast. And as I mentioned before, the illustrious Anon UK radio pair of Top Gear. This show will be hosted by Gear and her better half, Batted Up. And it will be a global wrap of the day as far as protests. If there will be any police reaction, they will have callers from numerous marches around the world, musical content. All through the day, we're going to have recorded statements from ops around the world. We have recorded statements from Op Safe Winter, from Op KKK. I just can't remember them all right now. Op Serena Shem.
Serena Shem, yeah.
So there will be a lot of information. This has been a lot of work for us planning it, but we are getting a lot of buy-in. There are a lot of people that do want to be part of it, so that makes it worthwhile, despite how difficult it is. But, this is the first annual. And, Hig, I'm sure you can kind of relate to this.
Good.
I mean,
how are you?
From what things used to be to what they are now, they've changed an awful lot. But there are a lot of things in the last 5 years that are worth remembering, and they're worth celebrating for what Anonymous accomplished. And then there are also people who are no longer with us, who are a big part of Anonymous. And that's a big idea of this telethon, to celebrate what was accomplished and to remember those who are no longer with us. So,
rest in peace, Derek.
What do you think, Hig? Has it changed so much that it can never be what it was?
Well, I mean, I think it had to have changed because it's the very core of Anonymous is to change. I mean, to expect it to stay the same would go against the original idea of it. It's a metamorphosis of current affairs mixed with popular thinking of the Hive. Whether it's for the good or bad, I guess depends on which end of the stick you're on. And I mean, it's when I joined, when a lot of us old fags got on, it was different. And I'm sure now it's a little more, it's even more different, But I'm also out of that circles, so I don't get all the constant, My Twitter is more infosec stuff than constant barrage of op this, op that. And I kind of stay off the IRCs and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't need to practice skills. So
It must be different. It must be different now to be on the other side of the fence, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not. It's more conservative. You know, I get to spend more time just sitting back and working on projects and not having to worry about, you know, Russia or the Syrian Electronic Army or whatever just coming after me for no reason. You know, I don't have to worry about FBI knocking down my door that I know of. I'm sure there's always something they can make up, but I keep my nose clean. So.
Well, that's a good point.
Definitely.
I mean,
well, that's really good and all, but you're part of the inception of all this shit, and Saturday's about talking about old times, good times. We're going to have, well, hopefully if everybody shows up and everything goes accordingly, we will have a bunch of old fags on. And kind of like, hopefully like the Owen show, you know, people will come out of nowhere and make a call into the show and surprise us all. We heard from people that hadn't been around for years. And so this is the type of show that we're hoping will bring people together. And we're going to have a lot of good people on there, man, throughout the whole night. So, and everybody kind of knows each other. So hopefully everything will feel really good. I just imagine us all at a bonfire talking about good old days. And sharing stories.
This isn't 1930s either, you know. The good old days was dumpster fire after dumpster fire.
Mhm.
We got to remember that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it was fun because we were on that edge of, hey, we have to make a name for ourselves as a group, you know. I mean, people were hacking things that like were barely related to an op. Like we're gonna go hack some, you know, some random dude's store site in Pakistan because, you know, or Palestine or wherever, just because it's there. You know, why not? It's for the cause. And I think now.
It's for the cause.
Well, that's what happens, right? I think now it's a little more. I don't want to say structured, but I think you have so many intelligence agencies in the group. There was a lot when you know we were active, but I mean now they've probably got a nice strong foothold. There's I don't know. It just seems weird. It seems like it's a lot more decentralized.
Right.
You see the anon mask used literally for the replacement of hacker. Like if you want to show hacker and explain that what hacker is, you just show a mask with a dude in a hoodie. Yeah. Like you hit the prime time, you know, when you become like the default stock art.
Well, that's true. That's true. I think that's because some of those assholes were allowed to hijack the image, and that there's no doubt that did change the image of the idea and the collective over time. You know, I guess that was kind of what I was getting to, you know, and I think you're right when you said those days are gone. That makes sense, because not only do people get older and move on and perhaps get married and have children, but, you know, it does seem natural to the whole concept, to the whole idea. Nothing's permanent. That is part of the base idea, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because, I mean, in a perfect anonymous type ideal, you wouldn't have a handle or a nick that would stay the same, and even a long-term guy could disappear and come back and no one would miss them or know they were gone. You know, like in the perfect ideal anonymous. And so what you're seeing now is obviously the branding part, and it was going to happen. I mean, unless everyone says, no, let's not use Guy Fawkes mask, let's use Chewbacca mask. You know, you're going to have the same thing until, or unless that shifts, you know, and anonymous was and is filled with a lot more than just hackers.
Yes.
And that's often lost. You know, so, I mean, I remember the old days, you know, and I'm seeing that, like, for instance, these protests going on, the Dakota pipeline, one of them. And, you know, I just remember every time I see it, I just keep, like, inside voice is screaming, like, call in the Air Force, because that's that's what we were doing at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be protesting the color of lettuce, and you'd be like, hey, I'm bored. I happen to agree that green is not the best color for lettuce. Let's go hack the lettuce company. And that would be a legit op. And there'd be pay spins, and lettuce farmers would be doxxed across the world. And it was just this chaotic mess. And now it's like, it's almost like the first thing they say is, we're having a protest, no anonymous. Can you guys just kind of step back? You guys are a little too crazy and out there. So I am amazed at the restraint. If I was still active, I know I wouldn't have said restraint. Hence the reason I got in trouble in the first place, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It seems now, with all the latest, IoT botnets out there and groups like the New World Hackers. Now, when I was growing up, the whole idea was you met a group of hackers in IRC, you kept it low key, and you released little info packets when you hack somebody, or you would hack someone's website and put your website on there. Like, yeah, you're a loser. Come to www.yousuck.com or whatever. And back in the day, it was really hard to trace people because there was like 4 security researchers in all of internet. But now it's like, hey, I'm 10. How old are you? 12. Sweet. Let's start a hacker group. You're good at Photoshop? Yeah, you're in the hacker group. Let's go.
Photoshop.
Is that a matter of the tech being so widely available that just anybody can pick it up and do something stupid? Like, is that an issue, that it's just too available these days?
Well,
I blame YouTube.
Well, YouTube also, but YouTube leaves a lot of crap out. Like, here's Kali Backtrack 5, how to do this, this, and this. Not telling you to change your Mac, not changing you to do this, or telling you to do this, that, or the other. And next thing you know, you're like, yay, look at me, I'm a lead hacker. Meanwhile, you've given your IP to everybody.
Yeah.
It has to do more with internet security in itself, because tech is everywhere. Internet security in itself is really horrible right now. You have the home users who just want it to work and assume no one's going to hack me. And then you have the pro guys like me who's like, everyone's going to hack me. And in the middle, you have this little security ecosystem of companies saying, we have a silver bullet, we can fix it for you. We have a silver bullet, we can watch it for you. And if anything happens, oh, man, you got hacked. Don't worry, we got a service for that. We'll investigate it, blah, blah, blah. And you have this money. But the core problems never get fixed. The developers aren't being told, hey, man, your code needs to be more secure. They're saying, hey, you need to push out more product. We need Windows 52 already. Like, Windows 10 is boring. Let's get on. We need more Windows code. And you see that a lot. And so it's kind of, if you get paid $9 an hour as a junior administrator somewhere, and you build this network for, your uncle, your cousin, whatever, well, you're not really that motivated unless you love computer science or, InfoSec to update, to patch. It just works. No one's going to root my car sales store or, whatever. No one's gonna mess with me. They don't know me. I'm a nobody. And you're actually seeing that trend. It's always been there. But the low-hanging fruit, those are the guys who get hacked first and are used to hack bigger targets. And kids these days can go on YouTube, learn the basics, go read some e-zines from back in the day and be like, oh, I'm fucking uber elite. Throw a non in front of their nickname. Now they're affiliated. Wear a hoodie. Now they're hackers. Throw up a logo and a web page in some third world country without any idea about how the law actually works, still getting a .com and then being upset when the government steals it. You're just seeing it's not script kiddies, because script kiddies are on a whole different level. Like, I know script kiddies that are script kiddies, but they still at least understand basic. This is just almost a rampant, we can hack on any level. We can hack Minecraft. We can hack all our games. We can hack this. So I'm just going to go ahead and translate that over and go hack everybody and anything that I can. And even guessing passwords now is hacking somehow.
Yeah, I don't get that at all. I don't get that at all. You know, because, I mean, I've tried to tell people that. It's like, you know what? If your password is the digits of your birthday backwards, you weren't hacked. You're just fucking dumb. You know? I mean, that's not hacking.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
And reusing your same password, you know? I mean, and then we have political attribution. You can't, everyone's just going, hey, Russia hacked us. And they're like, no, dude, those are U.S. servers. They were owned by America like 5 years ago, dude. Those are Americans. Oh, well, America hacked Russia. Yeah, but they hacked us too. So America hacked America, guys. No one's drawing that line.
Nobody wants to talk about
Russia. Yeah, we're talking about Russia though.
Well, I don't think so because there'll be a whole new thing, you know. I mean, wasn't there a guy just arrested? Wasn't there a guy just arrested for like inserting code into all the voting machines so that it automatically voted one way?
Yeah.
Like, I
mean, more of that.
Oh yeah, those Diebold machines, they've been just pieces of shit for 20 years. But the way budgets are, no states, no municipal districts can afford to buy new machines, so they just keep using them over and over and over. And it's just become the way it is. And those who learn the vulnerabilities, then that's just sitting there in front of them. Hack me. Change me.
But Mr. Robot makes it look so easy and so serious.
Well, I mean, a lot of the stuff they do on there is that easy. And that's a sad effect. Like, Mr. Robot is a great show. And one of the things I like about it is, again, dude, I know one of the latest episodes I saw was, you know, old girl sitting in her hotel room, has a cantina pointed out the window, reverse shell, boom. I mean, that's it. And there's no way you could sit there and say, oh, well, you know, you gotta have this, you gotta have that. Not really, dude. It's calling back. As long as if you're local, you can set your IP. I mean, it's all very real and theoretical, but the land turtle is a good example of that. So you plug in this device, plug in an Ethernet cable, you have your CNC sitting outside on the same network or outside, and it just drops a shell, teleports you back to your server, and you can, boom, remote shell.
Right.
And
it's
that easy.
Publicly, webcam.
Well, you got full access. Screw the webcam.
No, I want to see you naked, though. That's why I did it. It's not because it's anonymous. It's just because I want to see your penis. The fuck?
Oh, well, I give free penis shots.
Oh, man. What? Now you telling me? What the fuck? How much reading
we gotta
I
hold off.
Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting for Derek's case to be over so I can figure out how he did it.
Damn.
I want to get that clicker bait.
Yeah, clicker bait. Oh, God. There's an app for that, too, now. God damn it.
Is it?
No.
Tinder?
I have no idea. Oh, man, no. We don't talk about Tinder around here.
Which one is it?
Trouble.
Tinder is trouble?
Ashley Madison. That's what I don't know.
Ashley Madison's different. I mean, but it's the same idea, right? Some fucking dude hacked Ashley Madison.
Yeah, made him name himself, but yeah.
Now they can exploit all that with money. Hey, I know that you're cheating on your wife with another wife. Give me $50,000.
Hey, step 1, hack. Step 3, be famous. Everybody leaves out step 2, go to jail. Like,
I didn't. I made sure I went to jail. Makes my book more interesting.
Yeah.
Dry soap, showering with friends, how to properly tie your boots. Why not
really,
eat candy bars left on your pillow?
God damn.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn there. I think it's gonna.
Isn't the concept really the same when you look at something like the OPM hack? Isn't it just really the same? It's just that the administrators just never patch, they never maintain, and then somebody comes along that finds a way in, and it's the person who finds the way in who's this arch criminal. But aren't the real criminals the lazy fuckers who never maintain anything in reality?
Well, yes, but it's a double-edged sword. I mean, you've updated one computer before? Imagine updating 150. You know, there's a dude who gets paid to twice a week update servers. That's his whole job. Every once in a while, he gets to do something else. But twice a week, he has to update hundreds of servers. One of those patches go wrong. One of those servers go wrong. Something breaks along the thing, and boom, you're done.
What about hosts? When do you blame your host? Like, do you think hosts should do some of this maintenance work, like some of the updates and shit, or is it really all on the developer?
It depends. It depends. When you have a VPS, and if you have managed hosting, if you pay somebody to essentially use their box, here's the box, you know, or if you're that administrator who needs to use cPanel, then it's really
God.
I've
been SSHing though. It's good. It's good.
Well, I'm just saying though. But now it's up to you to manage that cPanel instance because you need to take that initiative. Now, you can blame it on the host, pass the shit uphill, and say, okay, yeah, there you go. You're not patching correctly. But again, they have to maintain. They have to maintain what 100 plus fucking virtual servers. Sorry, Brody's in a singing mood.
Well, maybe 1,000, maybe more. No, yesterday I
exactly.
Smoker knows what's up. He pays for box all the time.
Yeah.
Well, and then each one of those boxes could be different. They don't have 1,000 of the same server. They have 1,000 of one server, 1,000 of a different server, 200 of another server. The install works great on all of them except for that last 100. That last 100, the one you bought for $32.95 a month. So, you know, you're like, I got a great deal, and then it gets hacked as soon as it turns on.
They said it was a VPS, but it says shared. I don't get it.
What don't you get, dude? You're on a virtual machine. Like, I don't understand what exactly. So your biggest fear, Comet, your biggest fear is if they find a way to break out of that container. Now they have access to that whole every VPS there.
Right. Well, I think people that went on to be hosts are thankful to being hackers, or at least learning how this shit works, because it makes them better hosts and better developers, I think.
No,
learning all. What? You don't think so?
I'm on that same boat. Remember, I run a quite large network myself, and hackers are the bane of my existence because it's hard enough to do the network and management of all of that systems alone. You have your network operations center, your security operations center, you're monitoring bandwidth and all these other metrics, CPU loads across all these virtual machines, et cetera, et cetera. And then you have to monitor the SOC to watch for security breaches. So how excited do you think I am that some script kiddie goes and downloads the latest Heartbleed and is pounding my server with it, even though it's not vulnerable, but he's going to pound my server with it because he's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, not overly excited.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, no. And you can't do anything about it because the guys in China or Iran or Russia, and you're like, hey, guys, this IP's hacking me. And they're like, yeah, we're sorry, if they email you back ever.
Yeah. So, yeah, that sucks.
Yes, there's nothing fun
That's rough,
about being a host.
They even put bro in the email. Fuck me.
Yeah, you're like, dude, this guy's been trying to brute force my SSH for like a month now, and they're like, yeah, that's too bad. And you're like, but I'm telling you, like, tell them to stop. They're like, no. No. I mean, half the time it's blocked, or you come up with creative ways to like route them onto a honeypot, which is something that is always fun. essentially at your firewall, you add an IP in that firewall, and it forwards that guy to a new subnet. And that new subnet's full of honeypots, pounding away for a month, and the next thing you know, he's like, yeah, I got root. And it's a honeypot. So then we get all your tools and all that stuff. And that's what it sounds like. He's all, woo, yeah, I got root.
I don't think the average person thinks like this, though. You're like pro-grade. Everybody else is just, like, excited to penetrate. If any, like, even if it's a fucking mom-and-pop shop. I think the excitement is in the success. I know a lot of people back in the day when I was around, like, they loved to deface, but when security was brought up, that's when people started tripping because, you know, here they are going into shit without really knowing anything about even VPNs, proxies, MAC changes, this and that. And then after the fact, it's a hard lesson for sure, but I don't know, man. I think we used to have more guidance back in the day. Right now, I think everybody just kind of goes at it and hopes for the best and tries to get a name out of it. But, I mean, we used to have guidance before. We used to have, you know, if you didn't belong there, you'd be, like, fuck banned. Like, we would treat, you know what I mean? We would allocate you.
Right. You'd be the guy who goes and scans all the servers in-app. But, I mean, again, like, it's risk versus reward. I mean, if you have a decent VPN connection and you're proxied up and stuff, unless you're doing a direct SSH, you're hooked into the terminal, you know, you're doing that way. And even an in-map scan could take forever. And you have leaks coming out you got to worry about. I mean, hacking now is no more dangerous than it was back in the day. It's just the more you know, the more you're like, wow, man, hacking and not getting caught,
serious business.
It's pretty fucking hard.
Yeah.
I mean, like on all levels. Now, if you're hacking, hey man, come on, dude, in a party. You know, so if you have, you know, if you're hacking again, Iran, Palestine, Pakistan, you know, in any stein, then you're okay because America doesn't really care. They're not going to come after you. But as soon as you start hacking locally, if you're in the UK and you start hacking the UK, if you're in America and you start hacking Americans, the infrastructure is controlled. You know, there's always somebody who's paid somewhere down that chain to give up your information.
Right.
See, that's another part of this. How much of this has become an industry? Like you mentioned before with the guys who are in the middle, and they say, oh, yeah, we can protect you. Give us $30 a month. Then you get hacked. Oh, we have tools to fix that. Give us some more money.
Give us $1 million a month. Yeah. Give us your child.
How much of this misconception with the reality of the computer world has created an industry that's worth billions of dollars, do you think?
Give me a second to think on that one.
You know, I'm just wondering that, you know, I mean, it's all about money. That's what it's about. I mean, everything in this world comes down to the money involved. So, you know, the way media reports stuff, you know.
Well, the problem is the threat real? The threat's real. The problem isn't spin. Hackers will exploit your computer. They will charge you lots of money if they get a locker on there, whatever. What's wrong is a large population of the InfoSec crowd in and of itself is trained to be book smart. And they're trained that, you know, oh man, you got your certifications. You go to DEF CON, you hang out with the cool people, you know what's up. And the reality that what a lot of people don't want to accept is that you're never going to be 100% up to date with what's going on. There's no possible way. So companies have two options, man. Either deny the access to whatever service they're trying to get off or protect against it. And the best they can do is, you know, we don't know enough about, let's say, Snort. We don't know enough to run it. The IT guy we have doesn't know enough to do his stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy a dedicated box. And this box runs Snort. And it's automatically going to alert us if anything pops up on the network. And you may catch 200 false positives, and you'll miss the 1 or 2 that are actual positives. Your system actually got hacked. But it doesn't matter because compliance says you need a box. You need something to monitor this system. You got it. You hooked it in there, and there you go. So if you get hacked, you could say, "Hey, man, we got the box. I checked the emails, right? So insurance covers us. We're good. Doesn't matter if all these emails got out or whatever.
Cover
it's
thy
a dirty
ass
world.
is what you're saying.
Well, that's exactly what it is, and it's a dirty, dirty industry because those that want to change, kind of make it a better place, they don't have the budget. You know, the people who say, okay, here's the skills you actually need, but you have to train somebody. So look at NetSand Security, for instance, is a good one. You want to train your staff to be hardcore using X amount of tools. That's fine. You can come here and pay $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, and we'll train them for 3 days. And when they leave, they'll have a certificate saying they know everything there is to know about this. Now, that just means that a lot of people aren't getting that training. A lot of companies aren't getting that training. A lot of people aren't getting that training. And it also comes up with an elitist attitude where you have these guys who go and get the certifications, and they're like, no, we're the best. Our company could afford to pay this money. So that's what people want, right? You want to be the elite. You want to be able to say that your cert costs X amount of money, so only the big top 100 companies in the world can afford it, so that when you go and say, who's our partner, who bought from us, who's secured by us, oh, the top 100 companies.
Okay.
As soon as that's removed, as soon as there's an accreditation place who is like, we'll test you, we'll train you, we'll give you hands-on training, you just bring your equipment, we already have a lab set up, and we'll do it for operation costs, we'll do it for, barely, we're making even. We're paying to train you, we're paying the salary of the guy to train you, that's it. Then, you remove that cost of entry, and you'll see security go up 100%. Plus, some people just don't like it. Some people get into security the same reason they get into working at a prison, It's either that or you work at Walmart.
Walmart's serious business, though, I hear.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
You need to lift at least 50 pounds, or they're not going to hire you. Like, most
Which
people
is
can't
strange,
get off
because
their fucking sofa. So it's like...
Which is the same for an entry-level InfoSec professional. It's actually Walmart associate and entry-level InfoSec professional are pretty much aligned with needs.
Right.
That's kind of scary, isn't it?
Well, I mean, of course.
Or is that?
Look at the guy.
Is that their level of tasks? That's all they need. Is it that basic?
Oh well. Oh no. That poor guy's probably going to have to do stuff he's not prepared for, not trained for. He'll probably get the crap job no one wants to do. And what happens if you're a young buck, you're 24, 25, whatever, you're out of college, you're making 60, maybe 70K, you're doing good, right? In your eyes, you're doing yeah, I'm doing good. And all I have to do is check emails every couple of days. You're not going to be paying attention to that shit. You're going to be building your Xbox system.
Yeah. You're followers on fucking Twitter, dude. What?
Yeah. I'm going to DDoS.
Full-time job. The fuck do you know
buy
about
me
that?
a lizard stressor.
Lizard stressor. You. I go pew pew, and then I love jokes.
It's all a joke. The InfoSec community, I love them. I love a lot of the people in there. But you talk to a lot of people trying to get into it, who are literally in love with the idea of essentially white knighting for the internet. They want to learn. They want to get into everything security and make sure no one gets hacked. Those dudes can barely find jobs because no one wants to pay for someone who doesn't know anything. And even if you know something, if you don't have those certifications, you're nobody. So then you get on that treadmill. You go spend $70, $50, maybe 35, 40 for $40K for a college education, and then you go spend another $1,000 to $3,000 per cert, depending on what you're looking for, and then you have to re-up that every couple of years, if not every year, just to prove that you paid attention. And some of them you actually pay to go to the classes, and then you can pay to take the test, but you can't take the test unless you've been to the class.
Wow, good time.
What an industry!
That's what it is. It's a certification industry, and that's exactly why you'll see it in my LinkedIn profile. I say it all the time. I guarantee my skills versus your certs are going to win every time. Every time. I'll do it left and right, dude. We could play this game over and over because I don't have to worry about, knowing the quote-unquote proper way to configure this or the proper way to secure this. I know how to secure it depending on the situation. So not only do I know the proper way, but I know all the random ways that one can configure that to get both the best results and the proper security levels on it. And that's what it's about, but you're just not seeing that anymore. You're seeing paper pushers become security guys.
I got a question. You haven't done a show in a while. I have a question. You haven't done a show in a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're not going to be doing a show for a while longer, then I think we should do a show with you about this stuff, about InfoSec. Because you got, a lot of shit to say that YouTube videos don't fucking discuss, and, the average blog won't mention this type of shit.
Oh, yeah, they will. But it's all personal.
Yeah, it's all personal. That's what I mean. Not mainstream.
You're not going to go to FireEye and read this shit on their blog. No, duh. But I guarantee you someone in their staff has a personal blog that no one knows about, no one reads, because it's not FireEye.com. And there's some little snippet where this kind of stuff is talked about. It's known in the industry. I know a lot of professionals who just said, no, I'm no longer going to do the treadmill. I'm done with getting certs. I'm done. I'm not doing it.
Right. Okay, so we talked about the security aspect, the InfoSec aspect, and the serious aspect of all this. But let me switch it up a little bit. What about the people that are coming to the movement or to the name just to meet people?
Well, I mean,
everybody just associates hacking with Anon. Well, what about the people that are lonely or just have no friends? They show up and they meet good people that have it in their mind that they want to help other people, that they want to change the world or whatever they're up to. But people come together, they write stuff. They never even discuss hacking or any of that stuff. But what about those people? That's my favorite part of the movement, I think. Is talking to different people in different countries. Huh?
Well, they do exist. They do exist, and it's a real part of the movement. But at the same time, it's a dangerous circle to get into. You have people who are new to the movement who get doxxed within 3 days.
Right.
they hit the wrong retweet, and someone's like, "No, I hate that crew."
Yeah.
And it's too much, man. It's just too much. Right now, because anybody can do it, and I believe it should always be that way. Anonymous will probably never go away, but joining Anonymous to meet people is like joining the militia because you want to meet gun owners.
Well, not so much meet people, just to meet people, be friends. I mean, meet people with the same mentality. Say you're on Facebook. I know a lot of people that came to us like this. They were, because mostly I'm on Twitter. I don't even have a Facebook. I never did that. So people from Facebook show up and just be introduced to Twitter, and they would talk this is a brand new fucking world. And so now they feel their fire was burning out on Facebook and all that bullshit. And now they feel they've reached a crowd that does shit. They get on it. They get on with shit. I've seen so many ops over the years, man. That's what I'm proud of about our little circle and what we've done with the movement and under the banner. We've raise so much money to help people, like put roofs over their heads, food in their stomachs, pay for medical, like whatever it may be, you know what I mean? And it just keeps recycling, you know? When people were down, they would help. When people were up, they would help the ones that were down, and like everybody just keeps paying it forward. And that's one of my favorite parts about Anon. Whether it was Anon or like just humanity coming together and using the Anon, I don't know what it is, man, but that's my favorite part of things.
Well, that's my favorite part of humanity in general. But with every good thing, there's a bad thing, and you know, that's just the way it is. I mean, you know, you can pay to help somebody get a roof over their head, or you know, get a right to work or whatever. At the same time, you could pay for some jackass to get a motorcycle and a tattoo, and it's like, you know what I mean?
Well, you got to do your research for sure.
Well, yeah, but then what are you doing? You know what I mean? The whole reason you joined the movement was for that face, and now you're telling me that you have to now investigate. So the first thing you do when you join is to question the authenticity of everyone involved. I mean,
well, it was always like that, though.
Well,
I know that like a lot of people are anti-censorship and stuff, and I talked about this years ago on my show that I asked somebody, okay, would you let me come into your house if you didn't know me? Let me walk up to your bedroom, pop open your laptop, and just log in and start browsing shit? And they'd be like, no. And I'd be like, then why the fuck do you expect the government to just hand their shit over to you and everybody? And they couldn't answer me. They're just like,
But I have literally done that, though.
Well, you're
like I've literally said. Well, no,
I mean,
I've met some dude, and he's like, hey, what are you doing, man? Hey, I'm going to this Occupy rally up in Dallas. You want to come? Yeah, dude, let's go. Tell me where you're at. Boom, he gave me his address. Boom, I picked him up and took him to the fucking Occupy thing. There was no question. It wasn't like, hey, man, are you a Fed? It was like, hey, man, let me dox this guy and keep this in my dox folder. No, dude, you're in the movement, and you needed, before everyone started turning, like fucking Sabu and fucking, I guess apparently Derek, all these weird people were just like, yeah, oh, I got caught. Let me tell you everybody I know, and here's all this information. Like, before that was, like, in your face, and the best thing about it was it was like a social network for bank robbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For criminals, like, hey, man, I'm not going to rob a 7-Eleven today, but I robbed 7-Elevens. So if you're in the area, and you obviously rob 7-Elevens too, let's meet up and go protest over here because we hate 7-Elevens. You know? Now it's like, I don't know. I got to go ask 14 friends. And those 14 friends are like, no, that guy once talked to my dog and said he was an asshole, and he totally did this and this and this because he used to date this guy online, and for some reason when you date people online it never works out. So I don't know, man. I hate everybody that knows him. It's like, come on, dude. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? You're tainting the very thing you're trying to defend, and you know, the same thing with calling the new fags. Well, okay, that's easy enough. But when you say, oh, I can't trust new fag, dude, I was a new fag for, you know, whatever. My first big anonymous crew was cabin crew, and how many of us snitched, right? I sure as fuck didn't. So we're good. Like,
yeah,
it's changed, and that mentality, the naivety, whatever, the blatant trust and love of if I do for this movement will do for me, that's been wiped away. And we were lucky enough to be there when that was still there.
Right.
Now it's, if I do for the movement, section over here will do for me. And if I do this for the movement, the section over here will do for me. And if I want to get the whole movement, I got to hack Israel, Palestine, Saudi Arabia. I got to go over here and make sure I definitely got to hate Sabu. That's guaranteed. You need to hate Sabu. You got to hate a whole subset of people, whether or not you even know what they did. You just hate them. Let's just hate them because, you know, it's the only way I'm going to get support if I ever get busted. And you essentially Anonymous became the United States political system. Who am I friends with? You won't fuck with me. I know fucking Wormer. Wormer doesn't know you that well. He's not going to go to prison for
but he
30
retweeted
years.
me twice. I know he'll do this for me.
Exactly.
I favorited all his tweets one day. I just sat there. He knows about me. He's my friend. He didn't block me.
He's leaked. I'm going to go start shit with fucking China. I'm going to hack into their firewall, and then I'm going to go DM Wormer. He'll give me tips.
Yeah. Wormer's standing by. He's
I'm going to DM Wormer on the same IP that I'm using to try and penetrate China, for sure.
Exactly. And I love when people do that. It's like, hi, my name is blah, 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 blah. I'm new to the hacking scene. Do you have any tips? And I'll give them a whole bunch of tips, a whole bunch of books and stuff to read, that kind of stuff. And it always comes back to, nah, man, no, I need to know how to hack Wi-Fi. It's like, dude, I just did a fucking 18-month prison bit over this shit. Yeah, let me go and give that back up. Let me go back and spend some more time in prison so you can get free Wi-Fi.
It's just WPS.
Well, yeah, right? Google.
It's just brute force, bro. Come on, man. YouTube said it would take like 10 seconds. You don't got 10 seconds for me, man? I favored all your tweets for a whole day.
Exactly.
I dressed up as a worm for fucking Halloween, bro. Come on.
Friendly follow, man. Friendly follow.
God damn it.
Come on, man. What's up? Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that a lot of that just... Doesn't that come down to just human nature, though?
Well, it comes back... Yeah, exactly. What happened was Anonymous went from the great 4chan experience of you can come on, go off, no one would miss you, like I had explained earlier. No one knows you're gone. Yep. It's the same anonymous shit popping up. Where now, you have 40 to 50 people who follow you religiously. When they change accounts, they immediately follow you. Completely throw out the idea that you can identify somebody just by who they follow.
Can you follow me back, bro? I switched accounts. Seriously, follow me back real quick. Can you tell everyone?
You don't,
because you're Wormer.
Yeah, I totally switched accounts, but let me go ahead and spam this out and let everybody know I switched.
Oh, you're a non-news will do it. Don't worry. I'll get them to tweet it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But you know what I like about our circle? Is that we got people like fucking Rebel. If not all, you know what I mean? Then they bring fun to the media. Like, when we do radio shows with them, it's a different crowd. Though it's the same crowd. Maybe it's a different mentality. They're not so serious business. Then we have, like, Rebels sitting there trolling all day or knick-knack playing music for hours. And people love it.
Well, because some people like that, right? Some people want to troll to troll. That's what trolling's about.
Yeah.
But, I mean, still,
well,
I don't want to say
Go ahead.
We adapt, and this shit keeps evolving.
Well, you're never gonna have the same. No, everybody gets butthurt now. Everybody, there's a fight to be picked in every tweet.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was to go tweet out right now, like, friendly smoker sucks dick and he loves Michael.
Oh my God! Did you hear Wormer is mad at Smoker? Oh my God, we gotta start an op stat, bro. Do you know Smoker? Give me all his info, man. I'm gonna register a domain, put his shit on there. Oh my God, fucking Wormer will follow me back after that.
Oh, on the
I even registered Wormer suspended. So when he gets suspended, I'll tweet it.
I'll get hit with, oh, you assumed his gender, or, oh my God, you said he sucks dick. That's gay bashing. It's like, no, I just so happen to know he likes penis in his mouth. Like, that's just fact.
Okay, like, I know you got arrested and you're not allowed to be around this stuff, but seriously, somebody just hacked me on Facebook and I need your help. Like, can you help me?
Yeah.
It's serious business, bro. They took my name.
Yeah, I get that shit all the time. Hey, I know you're good with computers. Can you hack into Facebook for me so I can see if my girlfriend's cheating on me? I was like, well, does she smell like human dick, dude? Because she probably is.
So sometimes I just be like, yeah, dude, I know a guy who could help you. You got to see a CNY Rebel. He'll hook you up with somebody to help you. Like, fucking JVAB, he's got, like, mad skills. He'll help you. Don't worry.
Does anyone need a fire truck? Does anyone need a fire truck?
Yeah.
No doubt.
I know a guy.
No doubt.
I know a guy who knows a guy who's running for president who has a guy who has a fire truck.
But he charges for tweets, though, so maybe we use somebody else next time.
And the number that you phone to ask how much the fire truck is, that's the Israeli consulate in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I need a new Xbox, man. Maybe we can ask Rebel to throw a marathon together, and we can ask for money.
Well, you know, that's...
Well, because I lost...
Well, you mentioned before about how gullible some people are, where they get secondhand, somebody tells them at work about this badass shit that this guy with a mask did or something, and then they just think right away. I mean, you know, I agree with you, Haig, that the level of acceptance and trust is gone, and it took a while to get there, and it had a few players in the wrong position to get that across. Chris Banks. But, you know, like, I can remember on Twitter when Danny Dantalian got a tweet from somebody with, like, 10 tweets and following 603 followers who said, I want to join Anonymous. I want to join Anonymous. And Danny said, okay, what's your name and address? And the guy put it there on open timeline in Twitter. And Danny said, okay, now you're a member of Anonymous. Just like that. And the guy was like, right on, I'm in. And he just self-doxed. You know, I mean...
Dude, I remember back in the day, Shmoop put out a tweet asking... I forget what it was, man. This is years ago. But it was pretty much like you would have to go somewhere and submit an email in a response to this tweet message that he put out. And then he just came out after saying, you know, so many people emailed me from their ISPs, and you guys are wearing masks. Like, what a fucking joke. It's like no security. Everybody just puts on a hoodie and a mask, and we're good, bro. Like, we're fucking good, bro. And if you paint your mask, then you're elite. Like, you're gonna get all the pussy.
Well, exactly. But it was very Hell's Angel-ish, right?
Yeah.
Like you knew you were part of it, dude. Like you just put on a mask, and I'll draw some anarchy symbols on my face and on my mask, and burn a flag, and I'm good, right? I'm anonymous now. But at the same note, you could just literally go meet up with some people and be like, hey, man, here's a whole heap of information I just hacked. Go do something.
But the Haviz video was only 2 minutes long, and that 6-year-old penetrated a site, and you're telling me to read all this, bro? Come on, man. It's crazy.
Well, now it's much worse. You know, now you DM somebody a paste bin, and it's like, yeah, that just got forwarded to the FBI.
Can you teach me what Mr. Robot does?
Yeah, the first thing you have to do is turn off all your VPNs and go download Mr. Robot Season 1 and 2. Go torrent it. You want to be a part of Anonymous, and just seed it.
Yes, you did. Start a torrent site with your mom's credit card.
Yes.
Let the Russell League promote it.
Well, and that's why you know, we're gonna me and the wife are working on a good little chunk of project here. We're gonna be writing a book, because that's, if you think about it, that's kind of how we met. Was the whole, she was like, hey, what's this Anonymous thing? I'm gonna go look around, and then stumbled onto me.
Mm-hmm.
And
so would you say that Anonymous worked out better than Tinder for you? Like,
yeah, he got to look at those big ass titties.
Yeah, that's what it was, because she had cut her face out. So it's not that I'm sexist. It's simply that the only part that she gave me was her tits. So I mean, in all fairness, I was simply judging by what I had. I didn't see her face until I hacked her email.
See that? He got honeypotted before he even knew what the fuck was going on.
Well, I hacked her email as soon as she sent the titty some nice boobs. I mean, there's people out there who would tell you, you know, as soon as I broke into her emails, I was like, hey, this girl works for the Australian government. Maybe that's shady as fuck. But I mean, it's gonna be yeah. Well, I mean,
oh my God.
Well, there's a lot I can talk about because I spent most of my time on my plea bargain being like, hey, I did a lot of bad shit. I'm gonna go talk about it. Is that legal? They're like, oh yeah, go ahead. So, as long as I don't break any new laws, I'm okay.
Just make sure if you talk about it, you do it at DEF CON.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
It just goes. It's just the same old stuff though. That's what sucks. Everyone's like, you got caught up on EXIF data, and it's like, what do you even do for your day job, dude? Like your day job is uploading Windows systems, right? Like that's your day job, is updating Windows systems. You haven't even hacked. You call yourself a hacker because you work on cool things like badges and stuff, and that's cool. But in reality, I actually hacked. I actually went out, found vulnerabilities, exploited them, and kept myself going for a good while. Yeah, I slipped up a couple times. But again, I was working in 2 time zones, my local time zone, and I was dating an Australian chick. Hot, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Serious business, Joe.
Yeah.
Listen off to tell everybody, go follow her.
So at the end of the day, I won, right? I mean, I did some jail time, yeah.
Can't wait for the book to come out.
Oh, it's going to be great.
God damn it.
Yeah,
well, it's a happy
one
ending,
those...
it sounds like.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. A happy ending
and
that I got the girl.
Anonymous. Well, this is all.
Well,
this has been quite the story to share, my friend.
I don't know. I still think it was my charisma over Anonymous. But I did have Anonymous did help me get her to when I proposed. So credit there.
Yes.
God damn.
Indeed.
I think Anonymous and being the idea, that's all good, but it's always going to be plagued, just like anything else, by the human factor.
That's right. It involves people.
It's the human factor, bro. The idea is beautiful. You know what I mean? The idea of the government's beautiful, but there's people there just fucking it up.
Yeah, but why can't people not suck?
Well, that's just it.
Like,
you look at somebody.
So you can
look at somebody like Aaron Swartz. You know, this is a guy who had all the right morals, all the right concepts, and the system wouldn't leave him alone. The system made sure that he wasn't going to have his way. The system wanted to make an example of him for anybody else who thought that they had a better idea. You know, this is what we're up against. And that's why the people like Aaron are so few and far between.
Well, the system is very much like the Matrix, right? I mean, you conform and you're okay. You live your life the way it's handed to you, whether randomly or however you want to go about deciding how your life fate gets decided. But at the same time, to go against that, you end up with a bunch of feds at your door.
Yeah.
And it's inherent in the system because those in power aren't going to just freely give it away. And that's the nature of the game. And that's why I don't understand anonymous snitches. Because there's always a way, right? I mean, we can all agree Sabu is a fucking douchebag. But can you imagine how fucking awesome that would be if he would have been like, nah, fuck you, dude. What are you going to do? You take my kids, bitch? I got all of Anonymous. Somebody will protect my kids.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, there's so many levels where to just man up and be like, oh, what are you going to get me with? You know, 10 years, okay, well, that's a lot of fucking time. That sucks. But the whole time you have a group of generations that are going to go to flock to Anonymous and say, who are the heroes in Anonymous? And they get this list. Who in Anonymous is legit, you know? And could have been somebody. Could have helped. He's on, his 3rd job now? He keeps getting fired because people find out where he works, and they're like, hey, man, this guy sucks dick. And they're like, okay, well, you're fired.
You're fired for sucking dick. A serious business.
No, I understand what you're saying. He could have had a reputation like Jeremy Hammond, but he chose not to.
And Jeremy Hammond is not going to get out of prison and go work for a megacorp, right? It's not going to happen.
No.
But Sabu could have. You know, if that was really what he wanted to do, was to go work in info security, how do you think info security, a team-based culture, a culture that's like, we don't break the law. We're white hat soldiers, and some of us are gray hat, but we try not to break the law. And, you know, so we're strong in that. But we wish we could, and if we could, we wouldn't go snitching. And then you go and snitch. Well, thanks. No one's going to want to be a part of that, dude. And, you know, mainstream media is always going to cover that. They're always going to cover, you know, Sabu's always going to get a cover before me or Jeremy. It's just going to happen. He's always going to be the go-to guy. Like, look at this guy. He snitched, but he had a really good reason to. It's like, well, I mean, if he didn't snitch, he'd probably have the same jobs that he has now, if not have kept a couple of them. But he would have also had a legit people who'd be like, no, dude, that guy's upstanding. That guy's okay. Instead of being, hey, he was a giant asshole the whole time he was an anonymous. Oh, and he snitched.
True enough.
And he blocked me on Twitter, like the jester.
But those are
Get
the
the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
don't
the
even
jester
start
blocked
on
me
that
too.
one.
Dick move.
Don't even
Dude.
start on that fucking clown. Don't even start there.
Well,
but I mean, you know, that is a real demonstration of the movement, though. I mean, we got 18 minutes left, and I got about 7 minutes to tell a story about someone that we would like to see, like you're talking about, Hig. So we got about, 10 minutes yet before we're going to play that. Rebel, you've been pretty quiet.
I'm watching this game. It's really good.
What's the score in the ball game?
It's 6-3, bottom of the seventh.
Oh, Cubbies.
Yeah, the Cubbies are up. I think they're going to do it.
Well, you know, on the other hand, I am looking forward to hearing Ass Hurt on the radio again. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will be interesting. There's no doubt about that.
We had a conversation in our Russell League group DM, and we were trying to decide that if Assert gave us a blowjob, if we'd return the favor. I think I would.
Well, I don't think it's a favor at that point. I think it's a trade.
It's a barter system.
Yeah, dude. Bart.
I mean, it might be a favor if, like, you know, you cup the balls. He didn't. You know.
But there's boobies, so it kind of equals out. It's like gay, not gay.
Well, I just want to mention before the show does end that right now MMM Live on fifth.com is got a countdown page, but in a couple hours the default website will take its place, and that'll have all the scheduling and all the time slots, and people actually get to see what the website's going to look like that night. So I will announce that on Twitter. Glenn's still suspended, and our main account for marketing is suspended for whatever reason. So we'll be doing all our tweets probably through the Smoker account and follow anons and so on. And so we're not really going to let this affect the night, and we still hope to see everybody there. And if anybody has any questions about anything pertaining to that night, or anybody wants to reach out to Glenn, send me a message, and I'll get it across.
I have a question.
What's your question? Okay. What are you wearing?
I'm playing with my nipple. So
okay, go on.
Glenn, did you tug on the Emperor's robe too hard? What happened? Why did you get suspended?
Actually, to tell the truth, I think anyone who has deep API access on Twitter can set a landmine for anybody that they want. All I did, I believe it was a IP-based algorithm that triggered with an account login, and 3 accounts got suspended simultaneously. That's what happened. So this is not sporting. This is not playing clean. This is no accident. And of course, you know, It's not supposed to happen. Somebody got into the API and planted it. So, of course, Twitter is dead silent about it because they fucked up. Just like we were talking about, Hig, you know? The shit gets laid all over the place and nobody's got time or the chutzpah to go looking for it because that's not why I'm here. I'm not getting paid for that. I'm getting paid to write new code. Forget what's hidden in the old code. We don't care.
Well, and Twitter makes money. Yeah, well, Twitter makes money, so it's supposed to anyway. So I'm sure they're selling some kind of access in the to somebody, some government.
Dude, the view up here, Canadian Glenn and MM Live, when he logged into it, all three of them got suspended at the same time. That makes no sense.
Well, it's IP based.
We just created MMM Live like
that
2
sounds
days
like a
ago.
Jewish conspiracy.
Yeah, or it could be a security algorithm that just says, hey, if this many accounts log in with the same IP between this amount of time between each login, then maybe that sets something off.
Well, it was on more than one browser too. You know, it's I wasn't using TweetDeck. It was using the desktop Twitter.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got each browser opens up X amount of sessions. Twitter, God knows how many that is, but let's just randomly pick a number and say 8. So 8 across that many accounts. I mean, their internal systems could be like, hey, someone's trying to brute force us, or blah 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 blah, and block those for security reasons. I'm not defending Twitter. I'm just saying from my security standpoint what I would do.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so if in the same day you get 3 tickets returned from the suspended account pages, and you get 3 replies to the 3 different emails, how long would it take you to reply to the account holder?
Well, considering I'm not a I'm sure they're doing a lot of that. It's not automatic. It's probably a ticketing system. I imagine I'd probably get it done within an hour. But, I mean, them probably 24 to 48, depending if they were testing a new algorithm or something.
Right.
Okay. I'm just curious to see how long this takes now. And they will have
what
absolutely
you're
no
saying is we should go to Facebook. That's pretty much what you're saying. No. We should go back to MySpace. Okay. Yeah, MySpace and hide your ass, bro. Like, we're good here.
Well, I want to go join MySpace too, but it's all music now, and I don't really do music. Like I don't make music, so I feel left out. But I want glitter text. I want glitter text bad.
Wow.
Glitter text is sexy. Oh my god.
I want
like
GeoCities too. I'm thinking I can make a GeoCities account.
Oh my goodness, yo, GeoCities is hot though. And Alta Vista, what was it?
Do you guys want to go hang out on web crawler chat after you guys are done?
Dude, I'm already there. Like, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
I don't. I do want to get. Does AOL still exist? I think it does. I want to get it on AOL.
The director of the CIA uses AOL. That's for sure. He forwards all his mail to it too.
My floppy expired. I can't go on AOL.
It's 15 hours.
Get the fuck out of here. I got a floppy I never used. It's got a code. Probably get some.
Oh God. Okay.
Well, yeah.
Now, there's one other thing I want to cover because I knew we'd go down this path, so I saved this for the end. Get back to some of the good things that the collective has done. All the Canadian listeners, I say the name Rataea Parsons. They'll know who I'm talking about. Rataea Parsons, at the time this started, was 15. She went to a house party. There was a lot of alcohol consumed. She ended up getting her pictures taken of her being sexually assaulted. They ended up on Facebook, on people's phones, all through her school, and it became quite an issue. It was reported to the RCMP in Halifax, Nova Scotia. They did basically nothing about it for 17 months. They refused to charge those who were in the pictures, who were assaulting her. They refused to charge those who spread the picture. They just didn't want to do anything about it, more or less. 17 months after that happened, Ratea's mother had to take her off life support after a failed suicide attempt. There was someone in Halifax who's still around who goes by the name Dexter Dine. He'd been a member of Telecomics Canada for quite a while, was involved in the Arab Spring, did a lot of good work. He basically threw away the career he had and doxed himself, came out. John Blanchard would not let the Ratea Parsons situation die. And Anonymous got involved. The RCMP were forced to reopen the investigation. 2 out of the 4 were charged, were convicted. And there was a resolution in the end. But why it had to happen this way is something that's never been answered. Now I'm going to play a little video that John himself made. I've converted it to audio. You'll hear John speaking, and then the other voice you will hear is that of Glenn Canning, who is Ratea's father. Now, when I think about Anon, this op is one of the reasons that I think Anonymous is worth celebrating. Now, I'm sure we'll go into a little bit of overtime after this. Looks like Nick Knack is going to come on after I play this. So I'm going to put all callers on hold until this is done. And then I'll bring everybody back on.
Hello, citizens of the world. We are anonymous. We are legion. United as one. Divided by 0. Accept us.
It's described like a gang, but it's not true. What it is a flag under which various different communities kind of gather. If we work together and we all agree that this is a bad thing, we can kind of gather our talents. There's hack crews and Vox crews. You have people who have the ability to get you the data, and you have people who have the ability to distribute the data. And then you have a whole wide range of non-anonymous people who will look at it and go, right, okay, now I understand. It's not that it's 100,000 Anon guys with masks. It's you. You're retweeting that. Little old ladies in the suburbs of New Jersey are going, yeah, girl committed suicide and they're not going to charge. I'm going to let all my bridge club know about that right now. That scares the hell out of them. Glenn Canning wrote the finest tribute to a dead daughter, I think, in a generation. It was circulated worldwide. I handed it off to people in my telecomics community who translated it into their local languages. And it was circulated in those countries. Because every father who read it understood exactly what had happened.
Our demands are simple. We want the ends. RCMP to take immediate legal action.
The crew that organized it prepared a set of reasonable demands. They really did. They adjusted the op accordingly. They worked closely with people here to say, what is reasonable? And their demands were quite simple. They wanted the case reopened, they wanted charges brought, and they really wanted an investigation into how this came to happen. How does a girl get no answer for 17 months? These are all legitimate things that I think any human being in the world thinks is a good thing.
Certainly there is a place for individuals who have the ability to find information to provide that to police. But I also think it's incredibly incumbent upon police to be receptive to that. That if they completely dismiss a whole category of complaints or a whole category of information, they're going to miss things. And this is not a place where we can afford to miss things.
It's becoming commonplace to accept that people in responsible positions in justice and in governance and in law are able to do nothing. It's almost like, as I said, it's almost like square dancing or figure skating. You're expecting a compulsory spin. And you read, oh, okay, they said that. And then, in fact, some of the commentators say, oh, that's good politics because he said that. So everybody understands the game, But in the end, playing the game cost a 15-year-old girl her life. Rehtaeh Parsons is an evolution from our Justice Anon communities. Their overall target is to try and change people's hearts. That's what they're trying to do, because that's what you change. You change all the law in the world. Matters not. Nothing changes until people look in their selves and say, nope, that's wrong.
At the end of the day, I'm very glad that individuals on social media, including Anonymous, pushed so hard and gave such a strong reaction to the failed investigation / prosecution, so that the pieces were picked up and an investigation was continued.
People can, in fact, get together and make people do their jobs on an issue that they feel is important. That's a huge thing, because I think that most people have come to believe there's nothing you can do anymore, which is untrue. But I think a lot of people have given up and said, I just can't, it's wrong, but what can I do? And that, if anything, is the great gift of Rehtaeh Parsons.
All right. That is the power of Anonymous. Being focused in the right direction, going for the right goal. And it was too late for Rehtaeh, but like I said, charges were brought, convictions were made, and the RCMP in Halifax were made to look the fucking incompetent fools that they were. I salute John. He's still out there. Like I said, he's given up the career he had, which was in the InfoSec community, taken a step backwards as far as his standard of living. But he's quite happy because he did the right thing. So I'm happy to be associated with people like that in Anonymous. And those are the kind of things we're going to be looking to celebrate on Saturday. Now, Hig is unmuted, Rebel is unmuted, Smoker is unmuted. And now welcome to the show. Come on, there we go. Anon GovWatch, good evening.
Nobody wants to go first.
Hello. Welcome to the show.
This never would have happened if Derek was around. Everybody's all quiet and shit. Nobody wants to go first, like being polite and stuff.
Yeah, we're being polite. That's what's up.
I'm politeness.
That's because we're all such gentlemen. Everybody knows that.
GovWatch will be calling in on Saturday night. He'll be one of the guests on one of the shows.
I want to keep my mouth shut because other people here have the floor, as far as I'm concerned for now.
Well, we're in the last 10 seconds of the browser live show, so it's only people called in who are going to hear OT live. So everybody's on air. Everybody listening in browser, thank you. We'll see you on Saturday. And now it's just us. Now it's
overtime. Now we can talk about all the things.
Private.
So I was totally broadcasted naked, just so you guys know.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I called in too late. Oh, well.
Well, you're on now. It's OT.
You are. Well, they'll still hear it in the archive, though, so it's all good.
Yep. But, I mean, there's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be said about those who took advantage and those who steered others wrong. As we mentioned, Monsegur, Banks, Lowstutter, other people like that. We're not even going to mention those fucks on Saturday. We're going to talk about the people like John Blanchard.
Smoker?
Yeah.
You haven't told Glenn, have you?
What?
You haven't told Glenn yet, have you?
No, man. What are you, nuts?
Okay.
I know you guys are going to have a trolling show. I know that.
No. Setting up for something gold, bro. Gold, Jerry.
Oh.
Gold.
Okay.
Why,
It's gonna be really good, and Glenn is gonna. I hate to do it to him because the guy's getting old, but Glenn is gonna have a fucking coroner.
Yeah, Glenn's gonna have to turn up his respirator that night.
Glenn is gonna be in my DMs faster than a fucking skid in a fucking supermodel's DM box.
Yeah.
He is not gonna be happy if I pull this off. I'm in DMs with someone right now.
Yo,
and,
what are you doing? It's a surprise.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say who it is. Let's just say he owes me an interview, and he told me to reach out to him anytime, and I did.
Don't throw guests at it either. Just keep it to yourselves.
I got you.
Keep them low.
I'm gonna get fucking shot, dude. Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Dude, I feel like I'm on E right now. That interview's gonna be crazy.
So, Glenn, are you still suspended? Is your other account still suspended?
Everything be suspended, you know?
Yeah, everything. All three of them, simultaneous.
Yeah.
IP algorithm, bang. Thanks for coming.
They cut his electricity. They cut his internet.
Can't feed his wife
Twitter's
or his
not
kid.
playing games. Yeah.
Took away his goat.
Pornhub account has been suspended.
They wanted his kid. He didn't have one, so they took the neighbors. They're like, fuck you, bro. We're Twitter.
And the cat.
Great goods.
The cat
Yeah.
is
No,
mine.
they left the cat, though. They didn't want a non-retaliation. So.
I'm curious, Hig. Do you think on Saturday the phone might get turned over to Kylie at any point?
Well, I mean, there's no problem throwing one of us on there at a time because we do have, two little aliens who
Yes.
need our constant attention. But yeah. I mean, it does depend on the attitude of the show. She just is not about negativity. I really don't, I could care less because I'm not too worried about my feels. But, there's just some people she just doesn't like, and they don't like her, and fair is fair,
Yep, true enough.
Hey,
and, I mean,
when you talk to her again, tell her that CNY Rebel is upset because I wrote a song about your firstborn child, and I never even got a nude out of it. I'm upset. I'm
How
hurt.
would it be, dude? Not even a nude?
Not even
I
a
just
top
met her
of
and I
my
got a bikini shot. Your skills are low, bro. What happened?
You're
no
darker.
game, bro.
You're darker skinned than I am.
That might be it,
Oh,
though.
shit.
That's what
White
it
girls
is.
love that. White girls love that dark chocolate. Although
Yeah,
I'm
they
more of
do.
like an almond.
Well, then, no. Anyways, I'm fantasizing over here. Come on.
My Rico Suave moves.
I'm going to
I type
unfollow you just to follow you again, bro.
See, now there's just a name right there. I mean, if you weren't around 4 years ago, you may not even know that. Rico Suave.
Suave, suave.
Oe, 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 oe. Anything beats Rick Asshole. As long as we don't get Rickrolled, we're doing fine.
Oh, man.
Anything.
Rick rolled all the time. I love
Anything.
that shit.
It's a good thing
I'm
I'm
a
on my
nine
cell phone.
cat.
Rick Asshole. Oh, God. My God. I'll be happy if I never hear that song again for the rest of my life.
Which one?
Never gonna give.
Yeah, that one.
Never gonna give, never gonna give. That is
God.
awesome. I love it.
Well, I mean, it
That's
is
my
the
root.
perfect troll because it's so irritating. You can't ask for better
Oh,
than that.
man. I think it's in
But
my
then
next
back in
Halloween
the day-
costume.
Back in the day, I can remember going to a Metallica concert, and the last song they played before the band came on the stage was Nyan Cat. Now that's a
Nice.
troll.
No,
Yep, at a Metallica gig.
that's
That's
serious.
so hard.
About 4
Real
minutes
metal.
they played it. Oh, yeah.
Better than the hamster song.
Metallica Anonymous? Yeah.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Memories. Somebody should play some Nyan on one of the shows this weekend because that's a definite period piece.
Yo, that'll be the intro to the interview. We're going to blow everybody's minds away. Like, some people will actually blow up. Like, they'll stop tweeting because their heads will explode in real life.
Their heads will explode, and I'm going to do the entire interview in the voice of Strong Dad.
Oh, why? Can't you get a Derek Lostutter voice changer? So like,
I missed so much of that shitstorm too, dude. I feel bad.
You could do the JoJo voice.
Our slot's still getting DDoS.
You could do the JoJo voice. I mean, there were quite a few people that were doing that for a while for lols. I mean, I used to call into a couple shows all the time.
Lawsuits.
Lawsuits, yes. Because I can remember being on shows where all of a sudden I would hear, "Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Canadian Glenn."
I think Goose milked that thing for all it was worth.
Yeah, there were a few. Priest, a few. Yeah. Catty Idiot. Names from the past. They're still out there somewhere, as far as we know, unless they're one of those bodies in the morgue that aren't identified.
The world may never know.
I'm still trying to secure a Barrett Brown statement. They haven't got back to me on that. That's pretty much the only thing I'm waiting on.
You talking to Free Barrett?
Yeah, like I was trying to get somebody to reach out to whoever's involved with that to get a statement, because a lot of people are sending statements to the show that don't want to be live on the air, or their time doesn't align with their life or whatever. They're not available, so they're going to be sending us audio clips, and we'll be playing those. Some people are actually calling in representing their ops, their hashtags, or whatever. And but some people like Barrett, like I'd love for somebody to get a hold of them, because I mean this night's bringing a lot of people together.
Barrett? That's what I'm asking you.
No, Free Anons, I'm waiting on them, and then Vivian and Subverso, I'm waiting on them too. But no rush though. I mean, fuck, circumstances are crazy, so I'm not expecting a lot.
Well, Sue will be on my show, so I mean, anything to do with Free Anons will probably be in that slot.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll have a statement anyways. It'll be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I love me some Sue.
Do you have an idea of what you want to talk about that night, Gov?
On the 5th? Who not to vote for on the 8th?
What?
I don't know, man. It's a complicated thing. I mean, I could talk.
I'll call you from the march happening down here.
Right.
Just for
I think going to a march would probably be a violation of my probation.
Oh, really?
Can't participate in
Gov Watch is
civil...
going to be at the march down here.
I mean, I could sell hot dogs at it, or like T-shirts if I had a vendor's license, but maybe.
Poutine, bro. Poutine. It's all about the poutine.
Not really good at selling poutine.
What time's the march going from Eastern time? Like, what is it?
No clue. He's going to show up.
Oh, man. Typical non.
Oh, come on.
Not
you
even
kidding
organized.
me?
Jesus
During
Christ.
like
Yo,
0 days and whatever, who cares?
Like,
I didn't
fuck,
say
I'm
anything.
late.
You're running nothing, bro. Other people have taken over that shit. That's all good. I like it. It's awesome.
Oh, man.
The old days.
Okay, you guys were talking about douchebags earlier. Like, nobody said anything about jokers.
Who's that?
And
what is that? What are we talking about here?
Jester. Sorry, not joker. Jester.
Oh.
Yeah, like what? Oh, he's a douchebag.
Jews what? No, I'm saying like his shit about attacking like Russian sites and sort of retaliation and all that bullshit. Like what? what the fuck is going on? I want to ask the Yanks here, like, is there really some sort of anti-Russian bullshit going on in your country?
Yeah, dude, they're gonna like nuke us soon.
Yeah, dude.
So we gotta like watch out.
We're like DEFCON 11.
Yeah, dude. Like my teacher makes me
But
like.
DEFCON 1 means we're in a nuclear war, so that means you're in super peace mode.
We're in super peace mode, dude. We're like we don't even know what nukes are, dude. We're like launching fireworks into the water.
We are in terror alert. I believe it's fuchsia. Which is
that's magenta, which is a level above magenta.
Which is wear something nice in case we're bombed, so you don't die in ratty clothing. So everyone has been walking around looking freaking dapper.
Yeah.
Wait, are you guys talking about there's like some nuclear war bullshit that they're talking about just in the peripheral, as in like mainstream media?
Yeah, it's like, you're either going to vote a criminal or a racist criminal. Either way, you're voting criminal. Oh, and by the way, Russia may bomb us. And we're like, yeah, okay, but Hillary has a penis and Trump molests women. So it's
South Park's got it right,
man.
South Park just got it right.
What's that?
Well, America pretty much wants to die. America just wants to die alone. We don't want to know it's coming. We don't want to tell our people.
Yeah, what the fuck? Let it just happen.
The
Why would you want to know?
The big ending.
One day we're going to turn into dinosaurs. Like, what?
It's very Hollywood.
Yeah.
I think the aliens are going to come first. It's going to be like Independence Day.
I actually think that there's beacons out in space that we can't detect, and what they say is, do not stop at the blue dot. They're fucking nuts.
Yeah.
We're probably a theme park somewhere.
There's a visible hologram.
Like, you need to go watch these people, dude. Watch these people. They're stupid as fuck. This country right here, they're bombing for oil. That's what they tell you.
Oh my fucking God! Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
But they're stealing the gold.
Uh-oh.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I detect upset.
I love it.
Cleveland just hit a 2-run homer in the 8th to tie it 6-6. They blew a fucking 4-run lead.
That's what you get.
They blew a 4-run lead in the fucking 8th. Unreal.
Is
that like drug measurements? I'm not even sure what that means.
That's not Chapman who gave that out, is it?
Some money.
That's rough.
Yo, my neighbor just turned on his Christmas lights. I wish I had a shotgun.
What?
That's fucking crazy.
Dude, it's Christmas.
Dude.
It's November 2nd. Keep your pants on.
Not only that, it's like, what time is it? It's 11:14 p.m. This dude just turned them on. Like, he just finished.
That shit's not easy, dude. Christmas lights are fucked up.
What a freak.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
That's crazy.
Oh, well.
Yo, before I go, shout out to my boy Chris Dolan, dropping his mixtape book next week. Holla out to him. Get those Newports, son.
Yo, keep me posted on that thing, you know what I'm saying?
The thing at the place with the guy? You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you just pretty much tried to drop the biggest offensive fucking name possible, so I think you might be foreboding somewhat.
What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, what are you saying? Are you saying that Christopher Dolan is in my DMs right now?
Doyen, not Dolan.
Same thing.
Dude, we're going to have fucking Putin on, man.
No, you're not. You're going to try and get Fabricator X.
No, we wouldn't sink that low. We're going Hollywood.
Just hide your shoes.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't leave any shoes around.
Nah, sissy. That night.
Or condiments.
For the Revolution Radio Show, you must attend with popcorn, lots of liquor, and lots of drugs. And you have to have like a puke bag standing by, And empty all guns in the house, because some of you will blow your fucking brains off when it starts.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Get your hot tubs ready.
Yep.
I'm going to be the only sober one. That's going to be gay.
Just call your local paramedic, have an ambulance stand by. Like, you know what I mean? Take care of yourselves, man. We love you.
Well, the only good thing I can say
good warning.
The only good thing I can say about that is if that fucking turd shows up on the air, I don't have to go back on air anywhere for the rest of the marathon. So that's okay.
Nah, man, you're thinking very low. Rebels got, like, it's not even an ace. What's above an ace? Like, what's above? I don't know. I don't want to go too
I don't think that works that way.
It's pretty
like,
serious,
isn't all the cards above an ace? I mean, it doesn't depend on the game.
Yeah. There's a type of guess that'll get you, like, DDoSed or murdered. Yeah. I like that one.
Well,
I'll get my $40 worth.
Yeah, we're not going to announce
we're in this
you should get
we're in that category. If we're in that category, it can only be Fabricator X, Basket Head.
No, stop fucking saying names. You're going to ruin this. Come on, man. Foreplay, homie. I just want to, like, get straight to it. Sometimes you got to, like...
Actually, well, whatever, because I was thinking about talking to Trezzy or Sin, but I didn't.
Right. We're going to have the ShamWow guy talk about the prostitute incident. Like, it's going to be pretty fucking wild.
Vince, the ShamWow guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
he's a guy.
So...
He's pretty connected with the mass, for sure.
He's the slap chop guy too.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's trying to like boot up his career, so Anon's here to save the day.
It is too bad that Vince in the Bay can't make it. That would have been very worthwhile.
That would have been really awkward. That would have been awkward with Hig on the line though, because with the whole JVAB is the father of Hig's son.
But Vince is J-Vab's dad?
Vince is J-Vab's dad. It'd be awkward.
What the fuck? I'm out of the Twitter loops.
It's been done before, though, so, I mean, whatever.
That was the premise of the Brody song.
I don't think anybody's heard this fucking song you're talking about, man.
Yeah, where's this song? I never heard this song.
Oh, shit, I played that shit fucking long time ago. That was back in, like, 2013.
Well, yeah, that would make sense because it'd be around when Brody was born.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck in 2012, 2011, so I haven't heard that song yet.
I'm sure.
Well, I'm gonna go
if Hig asks her, she remembers. I'm sure she remembers.
Alrighty.
But, yeah, I'll be in contact for whenever that thing is.
Yeah, man. I'll let you know about the show, what's going on, and all this and that, in case Glenn's not back from suspension by then.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us.
He sent Twitter an email and said, I'm sick of these fucking cunts. Can you suspend me?
Yeah, I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah. All right, brother. Well, have a good night. Thanks for joining us and stuff, man.
No problem, man. You guys have a good one.
Send Kylie my love and all that.
All right, will do.
Say hi to everybody. Alrighty. Now
okay,
it's
the
down.
adults are gone. Now we can play. See, no, I'm kidding. PR. All right, that went well.
Well, whatever you guys are going to do on your show is whatever you're going to do on your show.
Bro, I'm not even telling God. Like, nobody's going to know.
No,
Glenn,
it's
you
just
know how Glenn, you know how you get mad at me for like a month at a time and don't talk to me?
Yeah, this will be like a 10-year bit.
So I'll talk to you in December.
You know, actually, yeah, this is kind of dangerous because you guys are going before me.
Yeah, bro. You're going to be like, what the fuck was that?
You may not even show up. You might be so flabbergasted. You might be so flabbergasted that you'll have a goddamn seizure.
Well, my day is going to be pretty fucking busy anyway. I mean, my own time, I'm going to be on from 9 to noon. Then I got noon to 3 p.m. where Top's on his own in London. So I think there's going to be enough to do in that 3-hour period. I may not even get to listen to Top. And then you two are on for 2 hours, and then I'm on for 2 hours. So
Right.
my day will be busy enough, I think. And so will yours, Smoker.
I know.
Mr. Embed.
Yeah, I know. Bro, we need that shit, man. Anyway.
Yeah, that's another thing. Spreaker, what's your fucking problem, man? What is wrong with you people?
Can they not create an episode before the day of the episode or something?
Well, they don't get the embed code until they fucking log into their studio 5 minutes before the show. They don't give them an embed in advance.
I think that's a lie. No,
I don't think so because I've heard that from everybody. Everybody says
Tell them
the same
to create the episode show. They said the same thing about Skype to me, man. Tell them to create the goddamn episode, and I will fucking make it work. I will. I shit you not, bros.
Well, whatever.
Plus, I know Wormer, and Worm will figure it out.
Theoretically.
Yeah, bro. I follow him on Twitter. He'll do it. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah. I'll hit him up. He'll do it because I retweeted him. That's okay. I'm still following FBI Has a File on Me, and there's been no tweet from that account for, I think, over 4 years. But I still follow.
Yeah, that account's special.
You bet.
Yep.
Legacy. Okay,
Panda,
what's the score in the game? What's going on? What's going on? What's the score in the game?
No,
he's here.
6-6, top of the ninth.
Holy fuck. So this is it for the Cubs.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, they need to fucking score here.
Wow. All right, well, whatever. We got anything else to talk about, or are we just going to waste time?
I mean, I was going to tell you what I was wearing, but, I mean, I don't have to.
Well, I'm looking at your webcam. You don't have to tell me shit.
Yeah, I was going to tweet up the code, but that bandwidth can't handle all the creeps.
That's right. Have to get a server to broadcast. Then you'll be getting Chattercoin.
Yeah. The Viz will be all up in my shit.
It's fucking pouring there right now. He just walked the guy. This could get interesting. It is fucking pouring in Cleveland right now.
There you go. That'll always help with the riot.
This is fucking insane. This is storybook bullshit. This is fucking ridiculous right now. I'm legit excited. I haven't been this excited since the Masters.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. All right, see, there you go. We're talking about nothing. You're talking about nothing, and you keep me on air, and I can't plug my TV back into my PVR to use the bandwidth. So,
well,
let's wrap it, boys.
You guys go watch the game. I'm gonna go hop in the hot tub with my guest on Saturday, and Glenn, I hope you get off suspension soon.
Yeah, buddy, keep me updated.
Alrighty, sounds good. There you go, for better or for worse. There's the preview show. We'll see all you fuckers on Saturday. MMM live on the 5, the number 5.com. All day chat, no login. Yes, there will be mods. Don't get that fucking crazy. We'll see you there.
Good night.
Good night, boys. Alrighty, that's it. We're wrapping. It's over. Saturday's going to be epic. There will be a huge amount of guests and clips and everything else and tunes and fuckery. MMM liveonthefive.com. We'll see you Saturday. Thanks for listening. Good night.